definitely hope that everybody had a great day today, as well as a wonderful year so far. We're almost there, almost to the end of the year, of course, absolutely. And, one of the things I wanted to talk about in true transparency and all accountabilities as we move forward in our quest to understand what is the ancestral line of healing and what is magic and what is the direction that we all, bear with me one moment, the direction that we all want to go in. Um, Today, I'm going to speak about a few things, um, something that's been heavy on my mind, I guess, for a moment, is really removing the poisoning of the matrix in our lives. I think it's really important to work very hard to remove the poison of the matrix from our lives, from our environments, from our mind, most importantly. Um, so, what I wanted to do today is expound on my own transparency and my own accountability for the most part, so that we can get a clear understanding on what it means when we put on and take off the magical glasses, that vision that the universe actually gives you, when the universe gives you that power, that ability, that gift, because the gift is serious. And in most instances, the people who are gifted with the gift, we tend to like pretty much ignore it or want to be normal, regular, you know what I mean? But moving forward, I took a lot of notes and I decided what direction I wanted to go with this. So I want to begin by saying that social media is a mesh, an absolute mesh of people who come from various backgrounds, lives, circumstances, all mixed together in an illusion that suggests to most circles that everyone is on the same accord. In reality, that's really not true, not by a long shot. When on social media platforms, we are pretty much surrounded with people that come from various environments. Some of these environments are fortunate environments. Some of these environments are unfortunate environments. Everything is energy. Okay. There are secret societies on social media platforms. There are racist organizations, as well as progressive organizations, cults, covens, all types of prosperous organizations and fraternities. There are light course, as well as there are those that are the children of darkness that roam the internet streets, I would say. There are also manipulators, narcissists, those with personality disorders and others at the same time and there's healers. There are revenge seekers, people who are broken, people who are hurt, and those with the capabilities to transcend all of that. Seek attention, according to their levels of growth and healing, in whichever realm they reside. Because life is an experience. The law of basic human dignity should, and I say should with emphasis, should apply realms. But we know this to be false, as we know that there are some that ignore the basic fundamentals of humanity and attempts to carry out agendas that specific motives. Ask me how I know. Some of us as we travel through the world in spirit and physical form. Some of us came from histories that consisted of kindness, love, peace, compassion, and grace, while others come from environments of crime, rage, hate, narcissistic families, and narcissistic so called friends. In the midst of it all, hearts are ultimately judged according to what it actually contains. Some hearts contain pain, some hearts contain hurt, some hearts contain organ, human body, physically vibrates frequency as it rhythmically beats. The heart can similar to this is saying that the heart has the capacity to remember. But what is the heart remembering? It doesn't remember like thoughts or events. It remembers how you feel about your thoughts. It remembers how you feel about events. If you do any research on the heart, you'll find that the heart is covered with memory cells, cells that contain memory because the heart has its own memory bank. It does its own mode of remembering. Whereas all of the other organs in our body, they have to rely on the memory of the brain. The heart is the only organ that has its own capability to remember. And it remembers primarily how you feel about things, how you feel about what you're thinking, how you feel about what you're experiencing. The memory of the feeling is held primarily in the heart. Like I said earlier, this says that the heart remembers. It remembers emotional responses that are connected to the memories stored in our brains. We have been taught through Western science to change our mind in order to change our reality. Though the mind brain connection, and it's through the mind brain connection, this is practically true. But if we don't actively work to reprogram the memories, our emotional responses through the heart, which also has its own independent mind, the reprogramming the brain only become part of the process of transmuting your reality. In essence, you're changing your mind, you changing your mind, but not the emotional responses connected to it. Humans have many emotionally based behavior. They will, in most cases, interpret experiences based on what they want to perceive. What humans want to be perceived can be, in most instances, false and not the absolute truth of the person experiencing the experience. It is important to develop an independent mentality because group based mentalities are the easiest mentalities to be manipulated and controlled by the quote unquote ruling class of the collective mind state. This process exists in every realm: institutions, religions, social organizations, communities, cults, and covens, as well as other groups. Those people that stand out, and I mean those people that think differently, think from a different perspective, from a different angle, from a different reality, become the biggest problems to these institutions, which purpose is to control the collective mind state of its members. Communities in particular uses this tactic to accept or States, while exhibiting the same, in most instances, the same and even worse behaviors collectively, too. Collectively, let's look at there is a concept that I call deaf. I call this concept deaf because the concept is written down as defend, enable, and fabricate. The law of human dignity is accountability. Okay? Even in this, we must be very aware of who we are holding ourselves accountable to. Because accountability can be shifted under the DEF process: defend, enable, and fabricate. Accountability can be shifted there. When this happens, you have to examine the quality of the individuals you're being accountable with. In the darkest environments, very little, not all, but very little, people truly care about the well-being of themselves as well as the well-being of others. People will literally use anything or anyone to shape and mold perceptions. Acts such as educating others to purposefully attempt to mishandle you, place you in situations where you're treating people correctly, but they're programming what they've been previously told. Their programming is to purposefully create drama for you and with you in order to manufacture chaos. And this is how chaos is manufactured: lies, gossip, rumors, half truths, changed narrations, all done to manufacture chaos. Your response or reaction to this will be hyper unacknowledged because the truth can't come out. According to some, the truth can't come out because it brings to light who the initiators of the chaos and the real reason behind it all. But it will come out. It will. Weak people, weak energies do the weakest of things to insert false sense of fears into others, even those that know or knew the truth. It's about murder, where it is acceptable, absolutely acceptable, to about the age, to manipulate grown men, and teaching the young, especially synagogues, Satan, the environment that do this type of darkness. Some to specific information, narratives, rearrange narratives. And at that time, you would really have put something on them. At that time, you would really, really put something on them. But they didn't take the bait. Okay, cool. So they will ostracize you, hide behind whispers, indoctrinate the gullible with photos and videos that totally exclude their participation. In those times, they will pretend as if you didn't see the recorders, the ones that hold the female with the phone like this here while they holding the female as a human shield. The act of an ultra elite coward recording videos of you while holding a woman as a human shield. Very dangerous. And this is one of the reasons why a lot of women in the dark societies, the darker circles, they end up losing their lives, because there are people out there that would shoot through a woman to get to whoever's holding her as a human shield. I don't agree with that, but we definitely have to be very careful about the men that use women as human shields, that use women as pawns for nefarious means and intents. You know, and I've come from a life of that. I've come from a life of where that cowardice act is something that's considered a perspective. That's how people think. This is what we do, is according to them. And so, me myself personally, I apologize to the families that were exploited behind senseless street animosities that we all should have outgrown, and that some of us have outgrown, and some of us will never grow. I apologize to the people who were ultimately affected negatively and emotionally by myself, as well as the weak minded individuals I used to associate and affiliate with, who obviously have no intentions of changing, not even by an inch. But that's okay. That's their journey, that's their path. It becomes a nightmare in most instances for me to know that there are people who have broken the hearts of people I know personally, have broken their hearts, and then turn around and call me for root work. They call me for root work after they broke people's hearts. I know. Like I said, face to face to your boy, right? Eye to eye, face to face. I told him, same thing I told them. I know these people. I really do know these people. Like the people you calling me for root work. I know the people that you hurt. I know the people you hurt. My family was heartbroken when we heard the news and what had happened. The people that raised the young man that lost his life were the people that were instrumental in raising me and others. Because there was a time when all of our parents, and this is just true transparency, there was a time when all of our parents were running the streets. There was a time when all of our parents were in our lives partially, you see, and there were neighborhood mothers, you know, and these neighborhood mothers were the people in our community where if your father and mother is on drugs or if they're running the street, they knew who the neighborhood mothers were. These were the people, the mothers who would like take these babies. I'll talk about this lady had about, it must be about 10 babies in her house every day because people knew like until they got their act together and got themselves together or whatever, they knew they could bring their babies to this lady house. And this lady would feed them, clothe them, and take care of them until their parents got their lives together. And she, she was definitely an angel, in the community. And all communities generally do have the neighborhood mother, the one where no matter if she got one piece of bread, she'll break that one piece of bread and feed 10 children who need it. And so that's something that, um, it still exists to the day, you know, and she will always be respected. You have to love yourself enough to know when you are right. You have to love yourself enough to know when you are wrong. And other times, you have to love you enough to be wrong when the expectation is greater for you. I'm on your side. I'm competing with me too. You know what I mean? I really am. There's no joke, no sarcasm in that. I'm on your side. I'm competing with me. The magic that the Creator has bestowed on me is unimaginably powerful. Something that can't really be taught, um, only awakened. Most of us who possess the gift that came with the curse spend most of our lives actually rejecting our calling, wishing to be part of the world. We won't be part of the world. Like when that gift is awakened in you, it's like, nah, man, I want to party. Nah, man, I want to have some fun. I want to do what they're doing. But you can't. Because once the universe has put that hand on you and say, no, it's going to be you that is going to receive these downloads. It's going to be you that's going to be enlightened. Then guess what? You got to take that calling. Because if you don't take that calling, what obviously and eventually happens is you're placed in circumstances and situations where you have to take it if you like it or not. And that has been, for the most part, the journey, the medicine man journey. You know, I wanted to be part of the circle. I wanted to be down. And the universe kept shifting me, kept putting people, placing people in my life to shift me through various means. Every interaction, like there's a so-called saying that, you know, um, all he make is enemies. Bruh, I treat everybody good. I treat everybody with respect. But having that vision, one thing about that vision is like you could just look at somebody and see immediately, okay, they're coming with bad energy because you have the ability to read their aura. So when you read their aura, you be like, okay, this person coming with bad energy. Let me see what it is. Let me play dumb. Because playing dumb is really the path of the wise. When you play dumb, the fool that's trying to fool you thinks that you're stupid. And when they think you're stupid, they show you directly what they're trying to do to you. If they're trying to set you up, if they're trying to poison you, if they're trying to destroy you in any form or fashion, they will show you because once they've set in their mind, oh, he dumb. Oh, she's dumb. She don't know what time it is. He don't know what time it is. They turn right around and show you their hand. But the whole time, you're just playing dumb. Playing dumb is one of the greatest skill sets of an empath because we see and feel, hear, smell the energy before the energy even exert itself. So before you even start on plan A, the empath has already perceived and read through your intentions because empath has telepathic ability. Telepathic ability means that you can read a person's mind, but reading someone's mind is not necessarily you're reading their thought word for word. You're reading the energy signature of their intentions. This is what telepathy is. So I might not know directly what you're thinking, and some empaths do have the ability to do that. They can read what you're thinking word for word. While there are others that can read your energy signature. They can read the energy signature of your thought before you even think it. Yeah. And some of us have that gift. So there are prophetic people, men and women, that will not come in the package that many of us expect. I know you expect the gold chain and the fancy car and the verbiage and but you know there are people that are prophetic that don't come in the packages that we would like them to come in. I remember being in DC one time, right? When I was in DC, I met this lady, man. She was like, you know, kind of, homeless or whatever. So it's always my notion when I was up there, I would always I would always primarily give people some money. Got a pocket full of money, man. I don't do nothing. You know what I mean? With my money, other than my daughter, I'm like a walking ATM for her. But other than that, um, so I gave her $10. She grabbed my wrist, right, and she started to tell me things that I did not tell her. I didn't say a word to this lady, and I sat there and said, you know what? This lady's a prophet. She's a broken prophet because she was homeless. She had no place to go. She had no food to eat. But when that lady touched me by grabbing my wrist, she read my life story and read it to me. I really did. I really appreciated that lady for that because it showed me at the time, it showed me a reality. It showed me that there are people out here, prophets, apostles, people that come to do the great work. They're going to be poor. They're going to be under a bridge. They're going to be homeless. But their mission to bring the great work is just as important as the mission of somebody with a face. So I've learned to treat people accordingly to the energy that they bring to you. And I've always been like that. Even when I've been inside the kingdom of Satan, I always brought good energy to people. But we always have to be careful of people that take your kindness for weakness. Because the beast is not asleep. It's just resting. It can awaken any time. But let me tell you something. For somebody who come from an environment, as someone who's come from an environment of extreme rage and narcissistic qualities and traits, the whole environment, families, everybody is narcissistic. You learn how to navigate through narcissistic tendencies coming from the people around you, which means, yeah, it's going to be lying. It's going to be unaccountability. It's going to be whispering. People that whisper are those that can't even show their and they can't come forward because a lot of people know their hands are so dirty in these narcissistic environments that they have to sit back and whisper to somebody who could be a host for the information to carry through, and that's a shame, but it goes to show you that people are committed to never changing, and that's their journey. They're going to be people that are assigned to you strictly to challenge your growth. They're going to be people assigned to you to challenge your elevation, your ascension. They're going to be people assigned. That's their assignment. Their assignment is not to grow. Their assignment is not to elevate, not to ascend. Their assignment is to step into the path of the ascended masters. Their assignment is to step into the path of those that are growing, to stop it, especially those that descended from darkness. And I'll be the first to tell you I've descended from darkness. I've ascended from it. And through the last few years, I had to work, struggle, fight my own inner demons that people, some might claim fighting consequences of actions. Man, listen, if there is a consequence, then my thing is this. Honestly, when you know you can approach somebody and have a conversation and you don't approach somebody with your feelings and your emotions and you go tell others so that others can tell others so that others can tell others just to see your reaction to it, that means you never cared. If you had cared, you would have addressed whatever you claiming your consequences is for. immediately. You would have addressed it. You know what I mean? So my thing is, if you don't like me, tell me that when you've been smoking and drinking with me. If you don't like me, tell me that while you've been praying with me. If you don't like me, tell me that while you've been in my car. Tell me that when you've been in my presence. Don't tell others to tell me. That's not even manly. That's the sign of weakness. You see? Especially when you know, for real, that you could have got a conversation. You could have got an accountability on site. And the truth could have been dealt with right then and there on what it was, what it is, and apologies could be handed, of course. There's nothing wrong with my apology, nothing wrong with my ability to apologize when I am wrong. But when you come from environments where there is nothing but narcissistic behaviors, murders, and dislike for one another, extreme dislike, then, the people that run up with your past, those are the people with the dirty hands. That's why they have to hide and do what they do and say what they say. But I can assure you, there's nothing wrong with my apology. And like I said earlier, I apologize to the people that were ultimately affected by the negativity and the destruction that was caused in our communities, by myself and the people that I participated with, who prefer to be in hiding, and it's okay. Hide on. Um, I'm solid, so I won't get out here, even after all I've been through. I won't get out here and say, so and so did this, especially when you're using what hurt me the most. I think for the most part, and it's supposed to hurt. It really is. But for the most part, what hurts the most is there are people that killed women, and never were accountable for it. Like, really? Man, people walking around like, yeah, you're older now. Yeah, you all knew about it. Everybody knew, you know? Come on, man. Don't play with me. For real. But I ain't gonna put that out there like that. I'm gonna let God handle it. And God already put out 40 years on one of them. You know what I mean? God already gave one 40 years. It's what it is. You know what I mean? Um, but moving forward, it's just very important for us to realize that, yeah, on social media, there is a plethora of people that come from various backgrounds. There is all types of people and individuals. You have to find the space and the place where you are accepted. And so, if there's anything that needs to be asked of me, moving forward, if you got any questions about anything, I have a number, I have an email, you know what I mean? And for those around me, you know where I'm at. You see what I'm saying? Like, if you're man enough, and that's not like in a negative light, but I'm just saying, like, grow up. We all need to, because we living in a days and time where somebody would rather record a catastrophe versus preventing one. That's low level, childish, weak behavior. And so, in most instances, we have to teach ourselves how to be strong. You have to pull yourself out of dark places, because we already know ain't nobody coming to save you. Nobody. Nobody's coming to save you. And this is why people join groups. People join groups because, and are part of groups, and that include gangs and secret societies, cults and covens. People join these groups for protection. Protection from what? Accountability. You see? Because when you're a part of a cult, a coven, a gang, there ain't no accountability. As long as you within the rules of the guidelines of this gang, of this group, of this secret society, you don't have to be held accountable because they all going to the DEF concept: defend, enable, and fabricate for you. This is why I call it the deaf. The deaf. It falls on deaf ears. They're going to defend. They're going to enable, and they're going to fabricate for you as long as you're a part of that group and you subscribe to the mentality of the group, the rules and regulations of the group. See, they're going to protect you. But when you become a loner, and most intellectual, intelligent people, actually, intelligent people are loners because intelligent people really realize that group based mentality is like what joining a group is like joining the United States government. Yeah, they're in power. Yeah, they got this, they got that, but they're crooked. And they're not doing the great work. Most groups don't do the great work. They do work, not the great work. They do only the work that fits their motive, only the work that fits their agenda. That's it. Simple. Like gang members ain't got no problem doing what they do because that's their work. That's their assignment. Secret societies, they hold secrets. What is the secret that's being held? That they don't follow no rules outside of their organization. And they're going to use the DEF concept, DEF, DEF, defend, enable, and fabricate for all of their members to protect them. And like I said earlier, this is why people join groups. But this time, I'm outside Satan. Definitely. And that ain't what word, that's really with action. So you can watch on. You know what I mean? It's so there are those that watch. I'll make sure I put on a good show doing the great work. The Journal of the Empath. And that book will be out next month. I already got it finished. It's already edited. I'm just kind of getting to my book cover with that part, and we're gonna put it out. But for the time being, yeah, Witchcraft is out. Very great book. Up to date, one of the best books this far. Witchcraft, Money and Medicine Man. Totally get it. Your greatest supporters will be strangers, and that's understood. Um, and I appreciate you guys, man. I really, really, really love the support. And if you guys have pages who come to my channel, I want you to put down like your page, and I'm going to subscribe and I'm going to follow you guys back. You know what I mean? Because I don't want to leave you hanging. I know many of you guys who are going to come to my page, you do have your own pages. I want to make sure that I support you the same way you support me. And moving forward, that's basically it. All that I have today, and I appreciate the time. I don't want to hold you guys up no more, but I do have classes coming up soon. Um, I've been on the fence. I've been on the fence with it because there are some things that just can't be taught. You know what I mean? Some things that just really can't be taught, but there are some things that can be taught. So what I want to do is share my gift and experiences with a lot of you guys. I really would love to share it. You know what I mean? I've elevated in many different aspects. Um, I've activated the empath chakra. You know what I mean? You know, we talk about chakras a lot. I've activated the empath chakra, and with the empath chakra, it's more like I want to teach people how to use the magic without the root work. You know, a different level. It's a different level because you don't necessarily need the roots and herb to do root work. When you look at it, your brain is like a high John, a conqueror root. You know what I mean? Your cerebral spine, your spine, and your central nervous system is like roots. You know what I mean? Throughout your body. And in the Kabbalah, it teaches that about the inner temple, the inner temple. And I wanted to elaborate on the inner temple one day, about the inner temple. I want to elaborate about the inner temple. Um, but there are different aspects to this. There are different still in chat. Still in chat. Um, I know you might not agree with it. It's okay. You might not agree with what I'm saying about there is root work without the root. You know what I mean? Or without working roots, because you are the vessel. You are the spirit vessel, and inside you is that energy. And when you learn how to exert that energy, when you learn how to direct that energy without putting things in jars, without lighting candles and incense, when you know how to use your body as the inner temple. But see, you have to realize also as well, a lot of everything that's in the earth, the elements, earth, air, fire, and water. Remember now, earth, air, fire, and water. That's inside you. We're thermodynamic beings. That's why when you go to the doctor and the doctor checks your blood pressure and the doctor says, okay, you're 98.9 degrees, 98.6 or whatever. You know how hot that is? If 98-degree fire was here right now, it would set this book on fire, it would burn up. Poof. But unfortunately, we contain that amount of fire, almost 100 degrees of fire in us. Yet, we're not burning up. You see? Because we're thermodynamic beings. Your brain, that it's made of. You got that people using external magic is internally inside you. So I'm going to end this video here. I didn't want it to go over an hour. So I'm going to end it here real quick. And I'm going to upload it. So therefore you can kind of rewatch it for those of us that would like to. Um, and the buffering will be out. Okay. I'll edit everything. But I appreciate the time and support from the people that genuinely support me. I appreciate the efforts. And I definitely wish you guys the best moving forward, okay? So stay blessed, stay at peace, and these classes are going to be coming soon to a theater near you. We're going to get into it, all right? So peace. I'll be back tomorrow. Y'all take care.